The concept of the perfect healthy plate has undergone a fascinating evolution since the 1970s, reflecting shifting societal values, scientific discoveries, and cultural trends. But here's where it gets controversial. What was once deemed healthy is now often viewed as outdated or even harmful. How did we get here, and why does the definition of a balanced meal continue to change? Let's dive into this journey through time, exploring how science, politics, and personal preferences have shaped our plates and where the debate might lead us next. Imagine growing up in a bustling household of 7 siblings in the 1960s, where meals were reminiscent of wartime rationing. For Professor George Grimble, a pioneer in nutrition research at University College London, UCL, this was reality. His family's diet consisted of hearty dishes like cottage pie, Sunday roasts, and the occasional fish fingers, all prepared with minimal reliance on processed foods. My parents believed processed food wasn't worth the money, Grimble recalls fondly. By the mid-1970s, he was immersed in groundbreaking research as a PhD student in the Department of Nutrition at the London School of Hygiene, witnessing firsthand how ideas about health and nutrition began to transform. Over the decades, the notion of a healthy plate evolved dramatically. Initially, it focused on simplicity. Carbohydrates, proteins, and fats were celebrated without much nuance. However, by the 1980s, things started heating up, literally and figuratively. This was an era when fat became public enemy number one, sparking debates that still resonate today. And this is the part most people miss. While low-fat diets gained traction, they often overlooked other critical factors, such as sugar intake and food quality. In the 1970s, a typical British meal included meat, 2 vegetables, and potatoes, a formula rooted in post-war practicality. Nutritional adequacy was paramount, ensuring sufficient iodine, calcium, and protein intake. Back then, government agencies heavily influenced dietary guidelines, prioritizing foods that supported agriculture and national food security. Red meats like beef, veal, mutton, and lamb dominated dinner tables, with little concern for their saturated fat content. Root vegetables, such as turnips, carrots, and parsnips, accompanied these meals, while white bread reigned supreme over its whole grain counterparts. But whispers of change were in the air. As early as 1958, Ansel Keys' landmark 7-country study suggested a link between high saturated fat consumption and heart disease. Yet, the transition away from traditional fats like lard, which remained popular well into the 1970s, took time. By the mid-1970s, medical experts began advocating for reduced fat intake, particularly saturated fats, citing connections to cardiovascular disease. Meanwhile, voices like John Yudkin argued against demonizing fats, pointing instead to sugar as a potential culprit. Was Yudkin silenced by opposing scientists, or did his theories simply fall out of favor? The truth remains debatable, but his perspective highlights the complexity of nutritional science. Fast forward to the 1980s, and diet culture reached fever pitch. Low-fat products flooded supermarket shelves, with margarine replacing butter and cottage cheese becoming a pantry staple. Brands like Weight Watchers capitalized on this trend, offering frozen meals tailored to calorie-conscious consumers. At the same time, researchers uncovered the benefits of polyunsaturated fats, including omega-3 and omega-6 fatty acids found in fish oils. A pivotal 1989 study published in The Lancet demonstrated that increasing fatty fish intake could reduce heart attack risk by nearly 30%. Meanwhile, fiber emerged as a superstar nutrient, celebrated for its role in promoting gut health and preventing cancer. By the 1990s, the low-fat obsession peaked, giving rise to peculiar phenomena like the glorification of baked beans and functional foods like probiotic drinks. Public health campaigns urged people to cut back on dietary cholesterol, leading many to avoid eggs and shellfish, despite emerging evidence suggesting otherwise. Olive oil soared in popularity, thanks partly to celebrity chefs who championed Mediterranean-inspired recipes. In 1994, the UK introduced its first national food guide, emphasizing fruits, vegetables, and starchy carbs while discouraging excessive fats and sugars. Then came the carb-phobic 2000s, fueled by the Atkins diet craze. Steak and bacon enjoyed newfound status as weight loss allies, while bread and pasta faced scrutiny. Whole grains entered mainstream consciousness, alongside discussions about the glycemic index, GI, and the importance of choosing complex carbs over refined ones. Healthy fats from sources like nuts, olive oil, and oily fish gained recognition, challenging the simplistic view that all fats were bad. In the 2010s, avocados and quinoa symbolized a shift toward plant-based eating, driven by social media influencers and clean eating advocates. Ultra-low-carb diets like keto gained traction, though they sometimes overshadowed sustainable choices. The updated Eat Well guide emphasized fiber-rich foods, plant proteins, and limits on free sugars, signaling a more holistic approach to nutrition. Today, in the 2020s, the focus is on gut health, food quality, and dietary patterns rather than individual nutrients. Fermented foods like kefir and kimchi have gone from niche to mainstream, reflecting growing awareness of the gut microbiome's role in overall wellness. While full-fat dairy has regained acceptance, ultra-processed foods remain under fire for their impact on satiety and long-term health. So, what does the future hold? Will we see a resurgence of 1970s staples like butter and potatoes, or will innovation continue to redefine our plates? One thing is certain, the quest for the perfect healthy plate is far from over, and your opinion matters. Do you agree with the current emphasis on plant-based diets? Or do you think we've swung too far away from traditional foods? Share your thoughts below.